Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Strompcast, episode 300. Celebrating 300 episodes today.
Jeez, we're big time.
We are big time. Here's to another 300. But before that, let me introduce you to my co-host. First, we got Richard. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. It's one of the few times a year where we don't have like any newsworthy stuff to talk about. It's just kind of like a chill kind of show, which is nice. 300 episodes of Strompcast. Here's a 300 more, like you said.
Yeah. Facts indeed. And Chris, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. It feels like we've got the Campeonato on the back burner right now. Getting a little World Cup fever. I'm not gonna lie. Past week or so. I bought the jacket.
It's a nice jacket. I
saw
like
it
that
in
jacket.
person. So was really tough to not and end up doing it. It'd be like that. But yeah, 300 epis. I was looking back through all of them, and we'll talk about some of the moments. But yeah, some crazy memories and like interesting moments. But yeah, boys, it's a good milestone, and yeah, to 300 more.
Yeah, facts. And shout out to Danny, who couldn't be here today watching Canada.
He's on
play.
his way to BMO Field to watch the Canada-Tunisia game, and
Fair play.
he's probably buzzing because we just found out that Canada's opponent in the World Cup opener is Bosnia and not Italy. So there's going to be a lot of Canadian sports media has already been a buzz with that. It's going to be a meme city tomorrow on the sports talk radio shows and stuff. It's going to be amazing. Great content.
Should be fun. And make sure you follow All Things Alvalade on social media and podcast platforms. Just before we kick it off, though, I think we have to give a shout out to people who are no longer on the podcast, but still contributed to many of them. We've got Steph, of course, Bruno. We've got so many more. Nando, of course. There's so many more I'm going to forget. But, 300 episodes with a lot of guests, and us 3-4 have been the mainstay. But there's been lots of other people. We've got like the Dive, for example, who've came on and helped us. Long Ball, Proxima Jornada. There's so many people that we want to thank.
Murphy.
Con Murphy.
Travante Williams, and I'm sure we'll get into some of the other guests we've had as well. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's not only joined us, but has still been watching, keeping up with the Twitter feed, everything like that. It is muchly appreciated. So thank you all very much. But Richard, do you want to take away what we've got planned?
So we're doing a little thing. If people remember from, I think, either our 200th episode or when we hit 1,000 subs, we did a little thing. Like we did a draft. We did like a 5-a-side draft and we did like a kit draft. So in honor of that, we're doing 2 drafts today. It is the draft special. Let me share my screen. Here we go. So it is as follows. We're going to be drafting our favorite moments from All Things Alvalade / formerly Sporting 160 EN history. We're also going to be drafting our favorite Sporting matches of all time.
And so we're gonna sporting updates.
Sporting updates.
The original.
If you were around for that time, you're an OG. So the order is as follows. It'll be a 1, 2, 3 order, and then it'll snake draft 3, 2, 1. We'll do 5 rounds for our favorite episodes or moments, 5 rounds for the matches. The draft order is as follows. Because Danny is not here, everyone's moved up a spot, actually. So I'm picking first. Sam picks second for the episodes. Chris, you pick third for the episodes. For matches, Sam, you actually moved. You stayed the same, and then Chris and I actually moved up a spot. So we're going to get into things. We'll start by talking about our favorite episodes, and I'm going to pull up the draft board. But you guys are going to be on the clock momentarily. There we go.
The NBA draft.
Yeah. We need the sound effect, right? So I'm on the clock. I have a list of ones that I have thought about. I've done my scouting reports for this, and I'm gonna kick it off. If I'm looking at like my favorite episode, I'm gonna pick. We've done a lot. I'm gonna pick the 2025 Tasa live stream. That one was so fun. They won that one. That's like one of the only times they've won with us doing a live stream. So that one holds a place near and dear to my heart. Sam, you are on the clock.
I think there's an obvious one, but I'm not going to pick that one. I'm going to leave that one because I'm going to do something unforeseen. It's something that only me and Richard
going off the board
so far, and that is Strompcast episode 301, which will be coming out hopefully with a surprise guest coming out, I believe on Easter Sunday or Easter Monday. Not decided yet.
Yeah, we actually. So yeah, for anybody wondering, we did a pre-recorded episode yesterday with a special guest. So it's not going to be a typical live stream. It'll be released Easter Sunday probably at some point. So do stick around on our socials for that one. But that was actually one of genuinely unbelievable guests. I cannot say enough positive things about this guest. They were so good. They gave such thoughtful answers. They were awesome.
It's something as well, like because without giving too much away, there are people that are very used to doing podcasts and everything like that, and it's such an easy, free-flowing conversation, which was really good. So yeah, it's definitely. I think it's less than an hour. I think we managed to go like 45 minutes, which is a perfect amount of time. So yeah, definitely 301 for me.
Yeah. All right, Chris, you are on the clock. Your favorite All Things Alvalade moments.
I mean, I have to take the obvious one. It's sitting right there.
Yeah.
It's probably our most viewed episode of all time as well.
Yeah.
The insane conversation that we had with Bruno Carvalho and the very chill and also cool
Alexandre
Godinho. Yeah.
That was cool. Like that they took the time to do that. I remember watching that episode like as it happened, and like we were at the guest yesterday, and Sam's like, I'm gonna ask him the guest the infamous question, how are you? Because Bruno went on like a 40-minute tirade of how he was.
That was how it went. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like making up questions that he answered himself.
Right. Chris, it's snake drafts. You actually get the next picks. You get back-to-back picks. It's one of the perks of the snake draft.
I was also looking back on other insane guests that we had, and there's a forgotten one as well, because this guest was pretty discreet at the time, semi-discreet. They were known because they had been not elected official, but like an appointed person in the Bruno Carvalho administration. And then they would go on to become a failed right-wing Chega candidate and would make crazy headlines.
Insane headlines.
And yeah, it was crazy to see the headlines about him like 4 years later and being like, wow, that guy was on a podcast. Bruno Mascarenhas.
Yeah, with his fucking dial-up Wi-Fi. I think that's how he spells his name. Yeah, I remember because I was just doing the thumbnails at that point. That was like a top secret one where Danny or Sam was like, hey, we got like a really special guest. Like, don't leak this to anybody yet. We got Bruno Mascarenhas. And yeah, he was a cool guest when you guys had him. But yeah, his Wi-Fi was docked. His internet was like dial-up. It was bad. Sam, you're on the clock.
I mean, there's a few that I want to take because I feel like they'll be coming off the board early. I'm going to go for a bit of a rogue one. I think it was just me and Chris at the time. And I think I got you to design the thumbnail, Richard. Surprise guest. Azbajug was...
I was wondering if he was going to come up. That's a good... Yeah, I did the thumbnail for that one as well.
Really chill guy. Like, I know a lot of sporting fans might not remember him, but he's answered every question. Very chill. Like, just felt like, a free-flowing conversation. Yeah, so shout out Azbajug. Still, I believe Maribel's #1. So
love that.
Yes, he is.
Love that for Azbajug. I'm gonna pick this one, which is when we announced like our rebrand from Sporting 160 to the Strompcast / All Things Alvalade. Because that was like a big thing. Like we were really like we're branching out on our own officially, right? Like we were Sporting 160 for a while when I joined the show. And I realized after like you guys had talked about like, do we want to do a rebrand and stuff? Because like they were just getting some shit from people from like shit that we said, and they were like, well, they're like their own independent shows. Like they're allowed to have their own opinions, and you can disagree with them. But we're not gonna like, what do you want us to do? Take some sort of disciplinary action? So it just got to a point where it's like they don't need people in their DMs who disagree with us on occasion. And it was just nice to branch out on our own. Like we're still super grateful for Mariana and Joao and Tigash and Pedro and the gang. But yeah, that was a cool kind of milestone show for us. Shit, I'm back up on the clock now because it's snake draft. There's a lot of ones that we could do. I'm gonna pick selfishly. We did one in 2021, which was my debut, the Rio Ave 2021 away game, because that was my debut on the All Things Alvalade Sporting 160 universe. My introduction before I was just the back behind the scenes man.
Did we win?
Was that?
We did win. That was like a week or two before. That was the week before we won the title, I think, too, or a week or two before. And Paulinho scored a banger on that one. Yeah, we did win that one, which was good. And yeah, that was, I think, the week or two before the Boavista game, because we were like trying to figure out, like, we're still kind of doing math at the end of the season. Like, okay, if we get this, then we only need this kind of stuff.
And it was always like, we always thought we were going to bottle the title because it was a sporting thing to do, was to.
Well, because we had to play Boavista, Benfica, and then Marítimo. We're like, well, we'll draw to Boavista. We'll lose Benfica, and then we'll get to the last day, and it's Marítimo who caused Alcochete. So we'll be like, that's it. That's gonna be the 3 games that cost them the title, and that wasn't the case. They did the business against Boavista, and they were fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam, you're back on the clock.
Just interestingly, when I was doing research, the episode you guys did 2 weeks ago when we lost to Bodo is our second most viewed podcast ever.
Yeah, that one did stupid views for some reason.
When we lost to Bodo?
When we lost. It had like
that
1,700 views.
Yeah, it did really well.
Yeah.
But see, there's 2 in my mind that I'm thinking of, and they are very similar episodes. But I'm going to go with the second Trevante Williams interview. As the first one never actually happened.
The first one is funny enough. That was the first show that I tuned into.
Literally.
So I was expecting this Trevante Williams, and then he just never showed up. So then that just became the All Things Alvalade lore. Was like, one day we'll actually get him, and then we finally got him.
We got a boss call 5 minutes before.
we didn't get a boss call.
The SWAT team came in and said, "Nope, that's not happening."
They went, "FBI, open up!"
And 5 minutes before we were due to go live, we didn't have it. But in all fairness, Trevante was really cool about that. Even that situation, he was like, nothing I could do. Like, I tried to explain, and like, it wasn't his fault. And then when we managed to get him the second time again, I think he is someone who genuinely loves Portugal and sport. Represents.
He was such a fun interview too. He was so friendly. Like, again,
here's the thing: he's gonna come. I don't know how it hasn't happened yet, but he's gonna come back. I think.
Yeah, I think because there was rumors of it last year. Before.
Yeah, I don't know how it didn't happen.
It'll happen soon, probably. It might happen in this off season. Who knows?
But yeah, just shout out to Trevante Williams, and then I think that might have been the year. It might have been a few months after he stormed the pitch at the Jamor.
Yeah.
So it must have been quite recent to that. So like, just yeah, shout out to him. What a lovely guy.
Chris, you are on the clock now, and you get back-to-back picks now, so you can make 2 picks.
This is basically a combined one though, because I'm realizing how crazy of a week it was. Because when we won the title the first time in 2021, the week before we had won it before, but it had been a while, and we felt like we kept coming up short in the Futsal Champions League.
Oh yeah.
So we won the Futsal Champions League, and then we finally won the league. I was still living in Jersey. I had my face painted for that episode. Obviously we just talked about it, like felt like we were somehow gonna bottle it. Well, Paulinho with the iconic goal in an empty COVID Alvalade.
But you could hear the fans outside the stadium.
and then fucking, I love when I'm watching shit in Portugal that's like happening, and it's like 9-10 p.m. my time. I'm like, it's so late there.
It's insanely
so just
late
like
there.
then just like watching, various like streams of the party afterwards.
Yeah.
That was. That took me back to a good time, and now it's a little bit more normalized, I would say. But
hopefully we don't have to wait like another 20
years. It still feels good.
Like
it still feels good. And that first one obviously felt the best. I think
that's the first one we all actually got to properly enjoy, right?
I wasn't actually sure that I would see it. Actually, I knew I would see it one day, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be for a while.
Yeah.
I thought I'd never see it. After 2016, I was like, no, there's
I'm
no
with
way.
Sam on that one. I was like, it's just never going to happen. Like, they'll win a cup here and there, but that's it. Yeah. Chris, you're still on the clock because you get the back-to-back picks in the snake draft, so you get another pick.
I was trying to find the exact episode number. but
We'll know what you're talking about.
I couldn't find it. It's not even a really memorable moment, I feel like. But it was so ass. It was pre StreamYard era.
Oh wow.
What was that? Google Meets, I think.
Google
Yeah,
Meets.
yeah. And
Wow.
I had to do it while I was driving home from work, and I was on my Bruno Mascarenhas, and it kept cutting out, and it was just like the most frustrating episode of all time. And due to the timing and stuff, I was like, fuck, I don't even know if I can keep doing this. And I'm glad that I was able to persevere through tough times and tough scheduling, and feeling like I might be cooked in that moment.
I love that. Sam, you are on the clock now.
So
you're round 4.
This one is sort of a sneak peek at the next round, I suppose. But when we beat Arsenal, and because technically I wasn't on that podcast, I was at the game.
You were on the show. You did show up.
I joined because I watched it back the other day. I joined with 20 minutes to go, and it was one you guys had gone after dark, so I must have got home like midnight, maybe 1 a.m.
You got home so late. Yeah, it was me. It was me, Steph.
I think it was all of you were there.
I think it was all of us. Yeah, it was the 4 of us except for you, and you joined the 20-minute, and you popped on. We went, where the hell did you go? You should be in bed.
And I think you guys were on like a different game as well, because it was like a 3-game week podcast we had. So it was
I don't even think we were talking the Arsenal game, but that we were talking about like whatever game happened before that.
And I think it's episode 173. I want to say
it's like a late 100.
179. So, yeah, it's a good one.
I like that. Shit, it's on to me now. Yeah, that was a good. That one was on my list too. So I'm a little annoyed that you've taken out, but I respect it. There's some really good ones. I am going to go with. We did one with Sergio and Peter, I believe, where we lost the league. We had just lost the toss to the Liga, but that was such a fun episode because we did like trivia and stuff, and I almost completely named the entire Toss UEFA team. And Sam was like, I'm gonna make you guys. I was like, I'm gonna make Sergio and Peter guess the back-to-back like Europa League losing Benfica teams as like some payback, but that was like really fun. Because I watched that one back recently, and I was like pulling out names. I pulled out like Duala, and Peter's like, who the fuck is Duala? Like under his breath. But I somehow forgot like Hugo Viana in my like list. I forgot like 1 or 2 really obvious ones, but I got like all the obscure guys somehow. But that was just like a really funny show, and I love when we get like those guys on. They're just a blast. And oh shit, it's my pick again. Oh, I've because this is this last round. Just because it was really punny, I'm going with the end of the João Pereira episode, because
the end of the João Pereira.
Well, we had that locked in like the second he signed.
Yeah, because we were gonna call when he joined the start of the João Pereira, but we didn't because we were like, we feel like this isn't gonna go well, so we'll leave it.
So we were like, so Sam and I were like, keep that one in the back pocket for when he gets fired. And like 2 weeks later, it was like, all right, so end of the João Pereira.
Because I think when he got announced, it was already I think we played Amarante in the Tassa, and then we played Arsenal. So we'd already been smacked by Arsenal.
We'd already been smacked about by Arsenal, and then we did like 1 or 2. We only did like 3 shows total with him before he got fired, I think.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall on that one.
The writing was, it was a rough one. Sam, your final pick of the episodes / moments draft.
See, I have an episode, but I also have I want to cheat a little bit, if you guys don't mind.
All right.
And that was the era of guess the career paths. I really enjoyed.
I like that.
Those. And like all the game show elements we've had Football Imposter, I think we've had a Tenable at one point. We did
Tenable. We got to bring some of those back at some point, like a trivia or something. Those are so fun.
Yeah, they were really fun episodes. But I think the career path one, we had so many players that we'd guess them all, and that one.
We kind of exhausted, like, because there's all the, like, you can only do the obvious ones like right off the bat, and then once you get to the obscure ones, you're like, wait a second.
But yeah,
we had some fun
those were really fun. Those were fun. They were, some of them were difficult to set up, and some difficult to.
There's some really. You had some crazy. You had Phil Babb. Like at one
Yeah.
point, like that was crazy.
And this was like when I first started using Photoshop as well, before like AI existed. I could probably just put in a prompt and get it, there straight away.
Yeah, right. Now we have like
all
Canva.
manual labor.
Yeah, we still have photo. Well, actually, I shouldn't say Photoshop. I have Photo P, which is just the online / desktop bootleg Photoshop, but it still does all the same things.
I mean, with Canva, it would be much easier than it was at the time. And at the time I didn't have what I have now with PC. I had a laptop, so it was like it took even longer. So
yeah, I was gonna say even Canva now, like you could do some cool stuff just in Canva if you wanted to bring that back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
I like that. That's a fun one. Chris, your final pick of the episode / moments draft.
My final pick is going to be a guest interview that we did that I feel like kind of speaks to a little bit of the moment that we're at, the lack of the moment that we're at, was that we had presidential candidate Nuno Souza on the podcast.
I remember that.
It was roughly 4 years ago because
it was the last
was in March, so it was probably a little bit maybe February of 2022.
Because I remember again, Sam Danny was like, "Hey, we got the president. Don't leak this yet, but we have him coming on. Can you do the thumbnail? We got to because you had to show it to his people so he could approve it. I think too.
Yeah,
we did the thumbnail. That's why we did it like so soon.
I thought he ran a better candidacy at the time. Obviously, again, a long shot candidate, but better candidate, better guy.
Tell you what, he ran a better candidacy than Bruno Saha. He didn't almost get matched by Nulo.
he doubled him up. Obviously, they both still lost by a lot to an incumbent president. But I mean, what Saw got like 4. I just looked it up a little while ago. Saw got like 3 or 4, and Souza got 9. So or 8, 7, 8, I think.
He at least doubled him up.
He ran twice as good of a campaign. And the fact that, he was like interacting with Saucius more, it felt like the fact that he was willing to come on our podcast, etc.
Right.
He was going on a lot of shows.
Offered to buy some Nando's.
It's tough that 4 years later, looking on the same moment, and it feels like we're further away from that, But we move.
We do move. That was a good. Yeah, I remember that one because it was like we had to send the thumbnail for him and his team to approve it. There was a lot of that one was like a very like hush hush top secret one. I remember that one. That was a good interview too. He was actually like very good. Did a very good job like trying to answer the questions and everything. So the episode's draft was as follows. I chose the Tossa live stream, the announcement of the rebrand to All Things Alvalade, my debut, which was the Rio Ave game before we clinched the 2021 title, the episode where we lost the Toss Liga to Benfica, but we had Sergio and Peter on, and then the end of the João Pereira, which was always a fun one. Sam's first favorite episode, which I really like, is the upcoming pre-recorded episode with our very special guest, the Asbejug interview, the actual Travante Williams interview that did happen, the beating Arsenal in the Europa League quarterfinals, and we'll give them this one, the Guess the Career Path episodes, because those ones are just a blast. Chris, you chose the Bruno de Carvalho, Alexandre Godinho episodes, which very good choice. You also had the Bruno Mascarenhas interview, very good interview as well. You had the 2021 League Champions celebration episode. You had the episode where you were on Google Meets and had various technical difficulties. And then you had
we've all had one like that.
We've all had that at some point. And then we had the Nuno Souza interview to round off. That's a very good episodes list. It's a shame Dan's here because I'm sure we would have had there would have been 5 more interesting ones for sure, but very good choice. I like the spread of episodes here.
Yeah, there were some that you mentioned. I forgot, like the League Cup losers one. I do remember picking the guess the lineup, and because I didn't want to appear biased, I gave them when they lost in the Europa League final and when we lost in Europa.
When we lost, yeah. So that was a fun one. Exactly, that was a really fun one. We will move on now to the next draft as we're gonna get things wrapped up quickly here. We're gonna be picking our favorite sporting matches in history. There's no set criteria for this. You can pick any match from any time, any competition. Same rules apply, snake draft order. But Sam, you get the first pick for your favorite sporting match. What's your favorite match?
I will say my list is from the time we've been doing the podcast. But to be fair, the best matches have been more recent.
Most of the best. I went for just as a fan.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair.
It was my round 4 pick last time, but the Europa League win against Arsenal has to be my favorite. Being in the stadium, seeing that goal for Pedro Gonzalez, I've said it so many times.
I mean, live just adds an
Live
even
is
more
crazy.
insane element to that. Yeah,
it was just like if I have kids, I'll be saying I went to that game and I saw that goal live. From
I was there. I was there for that game.
It'll be overshadowed if we somehow do it again and make it to the Champions League final.
Yeah,
very true. But like the feeling of the penalties as well. Like I've never witnessed penalties live like that. I felt so nervous. Like I felt like I was actually going to take one.
Dude,
like,
the away section at the end.
They're gonna call you.
Too.
That was they
was
took over
crazy.
the Emirates.
Yeah.
Chris, you're on the clock. What's your favorite? One of your favorite matches?
Might be one of my favorites of all time. Never gets old. You know, I probably just will turn this one on like once every year or two. Just run it back. 2014. That's the Portugal final.
That's the 2015 toss of Portugal.
14-15.
So the Portugal versus Braga.
That's
a very good one.
Snapped a 7 or 8 year trophyless drought as well.
I like that. I am gonna go with the 2019 Taça de Portugal because that was the year. That was the year after Alcochete. The almost a year to the day that they lost to Aves. So that one just holds a special place, I think, in a lot of Sporting Guiche's heart because they weren't expected to do shit that season.
Not the Aves one, was it?
Not the Aves one. This was the one where they beat Porto on penalties, if I do believe.
Yes. That's the one where I remember where I was type shit.
Yeah.
That one.
Snake draft. So I have another one. I'm gonna pick.
People were like, people at my work were like, "You're still watching that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the game is actually going as long as it physically could possibly."
It's going. It cannot go longer. My second pick, because I get the snake draft, is going back in the time machine. Is a 5-3 Taça de Portugal semi-final win against Benfica. Portugal derby. Benfica. That is one of the greatest soccer games I've ever witnessed in my life. They were 2-0 down at halftime, scored 3 goals in like 15 minutes. Benfica tied it, and then Sporting scored like 2 fucking wonder goals to win it 5-3. Like Yannick Jallo had a banger, Vukcevic had a banger. I'm going way back in the fucking Rolodex with some of these guys.
He did have a banger.
But that's my next pick. Chris, you are back on the clock now.
This one has sentimental value to me because I was there. I haven't been to that many games in my life. Single digits. A lot of league games, a lot of preseason games, a lot of jogos de preparação or jogos da apresentação.
Yeah.
Like the final preseason game, just because of timing of when I'm there. I'm often there in
the
summer.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm there in the fall, I can catch some league games.
Yep.
But this was the season. Season used to start in like September, and then it started. Sometimes it was creeping into August, and now it's crept all the way into the beginning of August.
Yeah.
So this was like I was still there in late August, and the Supertaça happened. The 2015-16 Supertaça, the first season of Jorge Jesus. Teo Gutierrez scored the winner.
Yeah, the Benfica Super. I remember watching that game.
I was in the away section.
That was in
Algarve. Yep, good time. Good fucking time.
Choice.
Got the result. Got a trophy out of it. You know,
that.
As we say, it's a real trophy when you win it.
It's not if you don't.
It doesn't count if you lose. So that year, that was a real trophy.
Yep. Every year since, it's not been. Sam, you have back-to-back picks in the snake draft. Take it away.
So I'm going to go for another one that I got to witness, and that was another historic 3-1 win against Dortmund to send us into the round of 16 of Champions League.
You were there.
For the first time in, I believe at the time, 11 years. Yeah, it must have been 11 years. So, again, watching Pedro Gonzalez score
it was a banger.
Those goals, and then the penalty that he missed, and I think Porro headed it in, I want to say.
Yeah, that shit was sus, bro.
Those
That header was from
scary
far
boy
away
hours.
too. What a header!
It
Yeah,
was
that was
as
a
well.
scary one.
Emre Can getting sent off for stamping on someone. I couldn't see that one. I just saw the red card get,
Yeah,
banished.
you
I was
just saw
like,
a
okay,
card. You're
cool.
like, yeah, fair enough.
I thought it was for Porro as well because they were like squaring up to each other. So I thought it's
Yeah.
for us, but it was for them. So yeah, like again, crazy memory of watching that game.
Yeah. You get the next pick as well, so take it away.
I think for the circumstance has to be Ruben Amorim's last game in the league against Braga, because I went to the Sporting Cafe with Kevin, Sophia, and G, and we all went to watch it, and Terry, my partner, as well. We all went to watch it, and being 2-0 down, just being like, "Wow, this is
that's a good one. That's a good one.
This is crazy." And then from scoring the goals that we did, especially a Hjulman banger, which doesn't happen that often, but a proper Hjulman banger.
I used to believe in them more, to be honest.
Yeah,
they've fallen off.
And a little underrated note of that is Harder's brace and his Instagram caption. With the weekend song, saying the goalkeeper's on his knees, which was very good. But yeah, a great send off as well. I think you were talking about storylines of football. Amorim's first job, technically, really in Braga, it was away. We'd
like
won.
We'd won
moment. Before. Yeah, so being 2-0 down as well. I don't know what he said. Like even at the start of the game, Portugal always goes down with an injury. You're like, damn, we're gonna lose 2-0, 2-1 down at the half. So yeah, crazy game.
Very good. That's a very good choice. Chris, you're back on the clock before I get my back-to-back pick, so you're up.
I think I'm going to go. Honestly, for the game for me, as far as the 2020-21 title, the drought ender. The Boavista game I'll always remember because that was the one where it happened. But it's the Braga game before that.
Oh yeah.
I really I mean, we had our.
That was when we were down a man for like. That was we were down a man for like
the whole game. really didn't think we were going to win.
Yeah,
we were backs against the wall for most of it, barely hanging on. A quick free kick to Mateus Nunes, who finishes at the near post. Honestly, not great.
It's in the intro. It's in the intro to this show.
From the other Mateus, not fantastic look, I imagine, for him. But that goal really came out of nothing, and it was a critical moment.
I like that
point
one.
Accumulation. That
I like that.
I think if we dropped there, we wouldn't have made it to the Boavista game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we would have got there. We wouldn't have been in the positions. This one's another blast from the past. I'm gonna go with the 4-1 win over Newcastle in the 2005 UEFA Cup quarterfinals, I believe. That was just an awesome game from start to finish from them. Everybody was, had heavily favored Newcastle going into that tie. I believe they were tied or they were down on aggregate, if I remember. But yeah, 4-1, convincing win to send them to the semifinals of the UEFA Cup. The Taça UEFA obviously was the road to Lisboa. They were going to be playing in Lisbon. That was just like great game, great goals. That was like such a fun game to watch. My second of my back-to-back picks, my penultimate pick as well. I got a lot of options here I could go with. I'm just thinking I am going to go a little rogue and a little throwback. I'm going to go for the 3-2 loss against Man City in the 2020 Euro, the 2012 loss versus Man City in the Europa League. The 2012 Euro.
Joe Hart nearly scoring at the back post in minute 95.
Advanced on because there's the
away goals.
Yeah, that's the Matias Fernandes free kick. It was a fucking banger. They had gone into that tie too, up 1-0 from Xandão. Blast from the pass for Sportingistas. The Xandão Turquinho, the back heel in the first leg. I almost picked that one in this spot, but I was like, let me go a little rogue with the 3-2 loss. It's the only loss you'll see on this where it was a win. So it'll be a little different. Chris, you are back on the board with your second to last pick.
So I was trying to think of like an iconic one for when I was like really young.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's
And
not a ton of them.
I do remember it was not the ultimate game of this, although I do have a vivid memory of this one for a bad reason. But in the lead up to it, it was the quarterfinals actually of the 2005 UEFA Cup against Newcastle. And my dad took me out of school early. And like it used to be so hard to get like he like bought the game.
Yeah, it was impossible to get those games.
He like bought the game like on UEFA.com and like paid like $10 for it
to watch the game.
So we like watched the game on our desktop computer because like you couldn't put it onto another monitor, you know.
That wasn't a thing then.
Crazy that we were even watching it on.
So this is the first. This is the first leg then.
Yeah, and didn't get to do it for the AZ Alkmaar games, but I remember coming home from school and it was the end of it, so I got to see the end of the AZ Alkmaar.
I love that.
Which is obviously iconic, but then got taken out of school early for the final, and that one was a really bad memory. But.
Yeah, that was not fun. That game, I know that game. I remember
the Newcastle one was pretty iconic. Newcastle was a big team, and
they were a good team. They had good players.
One of my earlier season memories.
Very, very solid choice. Sam, you have back-to-back picks to round out your draft.
See, I'm going to go with a fairly obvious one, and it's a more recent one as well. The 4-1 Champions League win over Man City, because I think we all thought we were cooked for that game, even though
we thought we were getting going to get dog walked in that game. Yeah.
Oh, I think we drew to PSV like the Champions League leg before, so it was like we were, and it's just Man City. I thought we were going to get smacked, and then to dominate them 4-1 and Gyökeres hat trick as well. Like,
yeah, that's a good one. That was on my list. Crazy. That was on my list as well of potential games. So you've taken it from me.
And then
very good choice. And your last pick.
I've got a few, but I don't want to rattle them off in case you guys have them. But the one I'm going to go for is one I went to see, and that is Nani's return game for Sporting in 2018 versus Stubble. In August. And he scored a brace that day. And I remember
that's
Nani's like my favorite player of all time, probably top 3, I would say. And seeing him return and score 2 goals as well, just crazy. And we won that game. And I just remember it was good vibes all around. And because I was straight after Alcochete as well, so I mean,
they needed those good vibes after that.
Yeah,
so that's a very good one. I love that.
And I think it's a bucket list thing for me. Is like I've seen Nani play for the national team live in friendlies, but I've never seen him play live for Sporting. So it was like I wish I would have ticked it off for Gyökeres as well. I just missed it. I went to watch last year against, I think we played Torino, and he got injured like the week before, so I didn't get to see Gyökeres play live, unfortunately. But you know what? We'll take a Nani return game.
Take that. I like that. Chris, your final game. This could be any game in history. This could be a game you went to. Could be a friendly for all I care. I don't care. I don't know.
I'm gonna get I think. Did you have the 17? You had the 17-18 TASA final, right?
No, I had the 2019 TASA final.
18-19, yeah.
18-19. I think okay.
17-18 is the Alcochete one.
Yeah. This is from the 18-19. This is the semi-final. Against Benfica, and
No, they played Benfica in 2019. Listen, Richard's football brain will tell you they played Benfica in 2019. They played Porto in 2018 in the semifinal. They beat both, but.
What was the one where Bruno Fernandes
scored the banger?
Put the team on his back and scored the banger.
Benfica.
2019 versus Benfica.
Yeah.
Villar in goal, I remember.
Yeah, that was Benfica.
Because it really felt like that team was like not good.
No, not at all.
So to even like be in the hunt for any sort of trophy kind of felt like a miracle.
Yeah.
And it felt like we kind of needed a series of miracles, which you did get to eventually win that trophy.
Yeah.
And I mean, the free kick he scored in the first leg to even give us a chance. Yeah. And then the banger in the second leg. iconic.
I like that. Oh, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of good ones that I'm just going through my list of ones that I had listed off. Because that was one of the ones I thought. But you know what? There's one that I really enjoyed. It is the 2-1 derby win over Benfica in 2024, aka the Gianni Catamo game.
Oh, what a game.
I remember watching that with my fiance. She had never watched. That was her first time watching me watch Sporting, and me and my dad were like, we had family over, so I'm like, hey, you're gonna meet some of my family, and my dad and I are watching. Like, I'm gonna warn you, you're gonna see a side of me. You like, I will understand if you leave me after today. This is a side of me that's not pretty. And they scored the first minute. My dad and I go crazy, and then we proceed to be very quiet and not speak a whole lot. And then Benfica scored, and we got really loud and pissed off.
Wasn't that the game we scored like 30 seconds in? Like 40.
We scored a minute in. We scored. It was like Omun Sabake finished, and then like pot crossed, and they scored. Like literally, that's what happened. And then we're watching them. I'm like, oh god, like you know what? I'll take a draw because we had the game in hand still, and a draw was going to help us anyways. I'm like, I'll take a draw at this point, and I'm like, it's a corner kick. We never score off a corner, and then they scored off the corner, and it was like the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I yelled I jumped up so loud. I was so fired up. So that's the game I remember the most from that season. Yeah, that's the game I remember most from that season because that's where I was like, I believe. That was the game that made me really believe we were going to win the title that year. So yeah, the 2-1 derby, aka the Gianni Catamo game.
Just on the topic, the one I had on my shortlist because I thought one of mine could be taken was the one where we beat Benfica 1-0 and Mateus Nunes scored the winner in the 90th.
The COVID one, yeah. Where the ball pings back and forth around the box.
Yeah, he just heads it in. Like that was a crazy one to watch. I remember.
I have a funny story. So I was still living at home, obviously, and I was watching the game on my laptop, like in my office. Mm-hmm. And my dad was watching with my grandfather, like in the next room. And my feed was like 30 to 45 seconds ahead. So they scored. I went, oh! And my dad's like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. So his feed was so, whatever feed he was using was so far behind. He's like, yo, are they going to score you? I'm like, they're working on it. Give them a second. So, but that's a good one. That was a really good one to pick. So the list as follows. Sam, you had the Europa League win versus Arsenal on the penalties. The 3-1 Dortmund win to go through to the round of 16 in the Champions League. You had the 4-2 win against Braga, aka Amorim's last match. You had the 4-1 win over Manchester City in the Champions League. And you had the Nani return game versus Setúbal in 2018. Chris, you had the 2015 Final de Taça versus Braga, the epic 2-0 comeback in the last 10 minutes with goals from Slimani and Montero, and they won on penalty kicks, but they beat up Rui Patricio. You had the 2016 Supertaça, which you were at against Benfica, the Jorge Jesus debut. You had the 2021 win against Braga, the Mateus Nunes banger, when they were down a man the entire time. You had the Newcastle first leg in the 2005 Taça UEFA, because you got to get out of school for that one. And you had the 2019 semifinal against Benfica, the miracle Bruno Fernandes carrying that team on his back games. And then my picks were the 2019 Final de Taça against Porto, the 5-3 Taça de Portugal semifinal against Benfica, which is one of my favorite games of all time, the 4-1 win against Newcastle in the Taça UEFA quarterfinal, the 3-2 loss to Man City in the Europa League, but they advanced on away goals because of the Shandao banger in the game before. And I also had the 2-1 derby win over Benfica, aka the Gianni Catamo game from 2024. That Benfica's is our draft.
Father.
Yeah, Benfica's dad. That's our draft list. Before we wrap up, any goals for the Strompcast? Any cool things that we want to do? We're going to wrap up in a minute here, but any guests that we'd like to see in the future? I have a couple that I can think of. I'd love to get Nino Torres on, the Goal TV commentator. He'd be fun. Tom Condert would be another one. He'd be really cool to get. Like someone I've mentioned a lot.
OG of the
OG
game.
of Portuguese English football media coverage.
In terms of guests, I really don't know. There's been a few that we've reached out to.
Balassi is
Balassi. We're still hunting Balassi and Montero. Where you like our shit, we see you. So we're
But
still.
Lassie is still playing, to be fair. I think maybe once he
Once he
retires.
retires,
Yeah.
But Lassie was
Montero,
one.
Lassie.
Someone's
Steve
got to
Vigo.
find out if he signed an NDA and if he did, how long it's for as well.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good
Marcel
one.
Kaiser, I think, is a good one.
He's just impossible to find.
No,
I'd love to get him.
I genuinely think there's one that's like unattainable, and I would love just to speak to Verandas. Obviously, would be a good one. I know
It'd
it's
be really
completely
good.
unattainable,
It'll
but
never
like
happen.
I think it would be fun. And then on the flip side of that, I think getting someone in like a Bruno Cavallo for a part 2, and actually
Yeah.
having maybe better questions. Because I think it's still a good episode, but I think we could have probably.
I think
spaced
having
out
more.
There's also
slightly.
been
I think
a lot
having
of
more
development
structure
in that time as well.
Yeah, a lot's gone
Mm.
on since then. Yeah, I think a Bruno interview with a bit more structure would do really well. I love Vadan. Like I know Vadan, like Vadas would probably never come on here, understandably, but I would love to just actually sit down because he is a fascinating guy. And there's so much like I would love to pick his brain about just in general.
Lil Mummy Barbs as well.
How have we not had Lil Mommy Barbs? She's in our group chat. Like, how have we not had Lil Mommy Barbs on this show? We gotta reach out to her.
Maybe.
I will say I reached out to Bruno Sara as well, but he left me on red. Not even like didn't answer.
Oh, that's rude.
Damn, I mean, he's no Nuno Souza, as we mentioned before,
He is
bro.
no Nuno Souza.
Thanks.
Well, that's why Nulo matched you in the
Gave him
election
a
there,
good
Bruno.
run, dude. Nulu gave him a good fucking
Nuno
challenge.
gave him a run for his money. And like we could now we know why. Yeah, how have we not had Little Mommy Barbs on this show? She'd be I feel like she'd be a fucking hilarious guest to have on.
They still could happen. Early days.
The season's young, bro.
Season is young. Any other guests or goals for the show or for All Things Alvalade / Strompcast?
Just we're gonna keep going. I think
We're gonna keep going.
Been something that I mean, I think we've definitely lost more money on this than we've made, but I think we have fun when we do it. So like, it's always been a hobby more than
what the money that we have made has just gone back into it too. Like, let's be honest, which is fine.
But like, it's been we've had very cool opportunities to speak to certain people, like Bruno Cavallo mentioned, as by Jacques, Con Murphy, the list goes on. So like, it's been cool just to see the amount of people that have tuned in and stayed with us, but also just, you know, it's been fun to like all the things we recapped in the podcast bit we just had, the top moments. Like, there's so many more that we're gonna have, hopefully. So yeah. It's been a
just
pleasure.
This season alone, we're gonna have so many more this season. We're gonna have we're hopefully knock on wood, another Taça Portugal live stream for the final. It has sort of low key become tradition.
World Cup, which I think we didn't do one last time because it was in like December and it just didn't really work out. We could do like World Cup, not stream.
I'd love to do like a World Cup, depending on schedules, like a World Cup. I mean, we'll do World Cup shows for sure, but yeah, if we do like a World Cup watch along, I'd be down for that. Depending on timing.
We might win the Champions League this year, boys. Like we're close. We're in the quarters.
I mean, I've already said like I will be here on this channel watching that game, and win or lose, you will watch the breakdown of a man live on the internet. Like you will watch a grown man cry on the internet. Like either way.
It's one of the things that if like obviously it's a very long shot. If we do, I will do everything to try and be at that stadium. I would not miss. I think it's in Hungary, the final.
It's in Budapest, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a case of no matter what.
Good spot. Heard good things about it, man.
Yeah,
my future in-laws were just there before the Christmas holidays. They had lovely things to say about Budapest.
Yeah, I've heard good things as well. So I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but that 0.01% chance. Who knows?
So you're saying there's a chance. That's all.
There's always a chance, especially with us recently. So,
90th minute, boys.
Let's do it. All right, I think that is everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. The short one today, but thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow Sam here at Sam Fonseca with 2 A's because he's a madman. You can follow Chris.
It was taken, okay.
It was taken. It's okay. I'm surprised my app wasn't taken. We have the big Chris 6'9" right there.
That wasn't taken.
Yeah, we have SCP Danny _.
To be fair, I got it
there.
early.
We have Richard _Nev7 right there. But most importantly, make sure you follow All Things Alvalade, AT Alvalade on Twitter, on social media. Thank you so much for 300 episodes, wherever you've been. Here's to 300, 600, 900, however many more. We'll be here. We'll still be doing this. Maybe when we're old and gray, who the hell knows? But if Sporting is there,
I'm gray. So
I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna be getting there at some point. I'm sure. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and for sticking around. Like, share, and subscribe. And peace.